What's up? What it is? What it do? All my gooblins, goblins, and everybody in between. Back again with another one because our buddy Chud is out and on the prowl once again. Well, at least he's free. I don't know if he's on the prowl, but let's see what Flacco got to say.
Really bad news, and it's about Chud the Builder. It appears this man has a witch doctor somewhere in a third world country. I don't know how he pulled this off, but Chud the Builder is apparently out on bond. About a day or two ago, the most deplorable person on the internet, Jake Lang, who just happens to be best friend with Chud the Builder, surprise, surprise, he came on Twitter to announce that Chud the Builder had apparently made bond and he was being released. Now, this was 2 days ago, and nobody got an update. So
I will also like to add that while Carmelo did have a $250,000 bond for stabbing and murdering someone, Chud did have a bigger bond given everything that he did. The judge said that he was a menace to society because of the messages he put out there saying that he would kill someone. And it looks like he is intentionally setting things up to happen. So yes, you being a menace does make you have a bigger bond.
a lot of people just thought, okay, like Jake Lang is a pathological liar. This is just one of his stunts.
We are outside Chud the Builder's courthouse. His official name, Dalton Eatherly. I'm here with his whole family. We are fighting for his bond. This was his final attempt to be able to receive bond. And guess what? They gave him a 2-week continuance. This is 2-tiered persecution. White men have no rights in the state of Tennessee for self-defense. Some rabid black man attacked him outside the courthouse, and he had to defend himself. Now we're facing a 2-tiered persecution where they won't even grant him bond over walking out of a restaurant when
I also like to add in that, you know, they do the same thing. So the same thing happened with Carmelo. You have people out there complaining and making these same type of videos as far as why Carmelo should go free. And I said they were stupid then, just like I'll say this is stupid now. So again, just to show I'm not on anyone's particular side. Both sides are stupid. You got two guilty people, and you still got parties trying to, advocate that they're not guilty when they're both very guilty for obvious reasons.
they kicked him out for not paying a bill. This is ridiculous.
Also, what he just said was also wrong. I know I'm not trying not to pause too many times, but they kicked him out because he wouldn't stop streaming when they asked him not to do that in their facility. And then they said, well, you need to go. And he then refused to pay a bill. They didn't kick him out because he refused to pay a bill. He got arrested because he refused to pay the bill. They kicked him out because he would not stop filming. And then he refused to pay the bill.
Democrat persecution. Dalton Eatherly is officially a political prisoner being held in abhorrent conditions of confinement. He is being held in solitary confinement, not even let out of his cell, I think only 2 hours a day. He's getting out right now. He's being tortured. They're trying to make him take a plea deal, but Dalton's remaining firm. We need to stand up. President Trump, the Department of Justice, this is persecution. Amen. This is political persecution. We need to stop this right now. Free Dalton. Free Chud.
Fight.
We are in downtown Nashville right now where my brother Chud the Builder is in his final bond hearing. He's being persecuted for being a white man who defended himself versus a violent black assailant. His bond has been set at $1.25 million when the murderer, Carmelo Anthony, only $250,000. This is the definition of two-tier justice. We have to stand against it. The Democrat persecution of Christians must end today. Free Chud!
I mean, you can't call yourself Christian when you run around doing hateful things. Like, I don't understand that. Some people say is because they're running around doing hateful things, they call themselves Christian, but an actual Christian would not be out there making hate speeches and antagonizing people and talk about how you're going to kill somebody. So the whole thing is weird.
Victim mentality is so whack, but they acting like Chud the Builder got $1 million bond for jaywalking or for stealing a Hershey bar out of Walmart. Chud the Builder got $1 million bond for shooting a man outside of a courthouse after antagonizing him. Yo, this victim mentality is so whack, bro. Like, it's so corny. I don't even understand, like, even if you are like a white supremacist or a white nationalist, I don't even understand how you can respect this. You guys are quote unquote anti-victim mentality, but yet you guys are the victim in almost every situation.
I can't say this as far as Flacco. I don't know about his thoughts, my personal thoughts. Everybody's playing victim. everyone is playing victim. Because again, they did the same thing with Carmelo Anthony, and I made the comparison then that if one is guilty, so is the other one. They had the same victim mentality. It's people still not saying he was getting bullied and he was doing this, this, and this. But again, all in all, he ain't had to be there. Somebody even went in one of the comments on the video I did for Carmelo, they said that if it was, that not a big deal, how come, you know, Austin didn't go and get someone to get him out of there? And yes, while that is viable, that is viable. That is a viable option for him. All in all, the antagonist was Carmelo. He shouldn't have been there. If he didn't want to end up locked in prison for the vast majority of his life, he shouldn't have been there. We're not talking about what Austin could have done. We're talking about what Carmelo shouldn't have done. Like, in hindsight, it's 2020. You can always say, oh yeah, well, he should have done this, this, and this. Because it's over with. And unfortunately, he lost his life. But in Chud's case, same case. Same case. You shouldn't have been out there doing what you was doing. If you hadn't been out there, you wouldn't end up in this situation. Everybody playing victim. Everybody loves to play victim. Nobody wants to be accountable.
And there's no accountability whatsoever, right? The worst part about this too, based on how much quote unquote support Chud has gotten from like the white supremacists and like white nationalists, Chud has not learned a goddamn thing. You would think like somebody in Chud's position would be in their jail cell rethinking their life decisions. All that has happened, to be honest, is Chud the Builder has been more bold. He has been emboldened by these people ever since being in jail, right? Because now he got companies stepping up to pay his $1 million bond. Now he got like white supremacists and white nationalists pulling him further into the deep end. He was already like deep end.
No, they're not pulling him further in there. He was already there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been out making the content he was making. So he's more so at home with the people he want to be around. Plain and simple. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Be straight up about it. Now, these companies that help bail him out, what you need to do is look and see who owns them, what companies they are. I don't know. I didn't even realize companies was doing this. But now the thing would be is, if you don't agree with it, all right, well, in the same way some of these other places we get boycotted, people boycotted, all these other bigger companies do the same thing. Boycott the company. Don't shop there. Don't buy their products. If they sell their products somewhere, yeah, refuse to buy their products. Make them lose money. They want to donate money to a known racist and somebody running around causing problems. You don't purchase their stuff. You don't use their stuff. You make them lose money on the consumer side. So if that's the stance that they want to take, let them take that stance. You then have nothing to do with them, so they lose money.
Enough. But now he thinks he's like a savior now. And that's the worst part about this. This man is leaving jail thinking he's the savior for the quote unquote white race. So he said this, but there was no action. This was like 2 days ago. And Chud the Builder, there was no reports of him being released. As a matter of fact, there was like a community note calling him a liar and saying Chud the Builder was still in jail.
And they probably couldn't publicly, not like they would anybody else, but Chud probably somebody they could not just go out there and say, hey, Chud's released, because there's probably people waiting on him on the outside to do him harm. And because they want to make sure he gets, goes through due process, he goes to trial and potentially gets locked up. They want to do it correctly. You can't just go out and announce it, because at that point, if there is somebody who's after his life, you pretty much just ring the dinner bell on them. So they likely did it to stay as low-key as possible due to someone doing something to him as soon as it was publicly put out there that he was out.
That's until about an hour ago. At 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern, Chud the Builder posted no comment. Period. No comment. And if he posted this, by the way, before we even get to whether or not he's out, if he posted this, he's already breaking his bond conditions. Lock him back up. The judge says he's not allowed to be on social media. Like, he's literally not allowed to be on social media.
No way to prove it was him. Other people have access to his socials. No way to prove it was him. So it does look bad, but there's no way to actually prove it was him that did it. And all somebody else got to do is say, yeah, no, I got access to his socials. I went in there, I did that. And you can't say that Chud did it. Like, he can't be on social. Doesn't mean his account can't be active. Like, it's all about semantics at that point.
Those were his bond conditions. But I'm assuming they'll pass it off as no, his girl posted it, no, no, his manager posted it. So, like, I'm not sure there's much they can do to him, right? Because they can always just lie. But based on that comment was received from a bunch of white supremacists, like commenting, Chud the Builder is out of jail, he's out, he's free. But these people are liars, man, right? So I didn't want to just take their word for it. So I decided to do my own research to figure out, is Chud the Builder out of jail or not? So I went to the inmate search for Montgomery County and then the other county in Nashville. So Clarksville is Montgomery County. That's the $1 million bond. Chud is not listed on the inmate roster in Davidson County, which is Nashville. And then when you also look at Montgomery County, he's not listed on an inmate roster as well, which will be the Clarksville bond, right? So the Nashville bond was the bond that was initially revoked. So it was taken away, right? Because the judge deemed him like a danger to society. That's the one where he essentially walked out the restaurant without paying. They got him on, like, shoplifting or theft charges, and that bond got revoked. So he was sitting on no bond. And then he went back to court and they gave him like a $5,000 bond after saying he was a threat to society, which to me makes no sense whatsoever. I think they folded to public pressure. And then the Clarksville bond was the bond for the $1 million, which was apparently already paid because, like, the racist casino duo, they apparently already offered up the money. So Chud was only waiting on.
Right. So there you go. If that's who did it, he said racist casino. If that's the case, then you don't bother with them no more. If they got anything to do, and a lot of times these casinos and these dealer places like that, they all usually bother with Kick, which is where Chud was streaming it. It's all about Kick. So if that's the case, one, don't bother with Kick as a whole, especially if Kick still got him, let his stuff be active. But you don't bother with Kick as a whole. And this is also why my theory about most of the people streaming on Kick are all dirtbags to some degree. Seems to be a little bit more viable because they don't care who streams what whatsoever. But that's a whole nother tangent that I can go on another day. But you don't bother with them. Leave them alone. So if you're upset about this particular company putting up the money for Chud, don't bother with them.
The Davidson County, which apparently got settled. I am floored, bro. I'm floored, man. To be a white man in America has to be an experience, man. You could shoot somebody on camera. You could call multiple innocent people the N-word for content, and you still gonna have people support you, and you still gonna have a $1 billion company pay $1 million bond for you just because.
Because he's earning the money. That's what it comes down to. It's all about money. Running around saying the N-word, all in all, yes. At the basis, it is just a word. And they're banking on your reaction to it, which is why you just turn around and walk off. Don't react. And I've had people who are upset that I've said that, but it's fine. You could be upset. I'm telling you the better thing to do is starve this thing. Turn around, walk off. Don't be content. Do not make yourself content. The same way with some of them auditors too. That's an auditor who actually is in the middle of a suit, who just got out, and I think I saw a video that Atozi did on it, where he was harassing people. Like, he stuck a camera inside somebody's car, and when the guy inside the car like grabbed the camera or did whatever, shoved it back out, he pepper sprayed him and took away about 80% of his sight, his vision. So they count on people doing stuff for content. They do the exact same thing, only they're just doing it to everybody, and they will purposely aim it over there. They'll talk down to you. They antagonize you because they want a reaction. They want the content. And they put this stuff on YouTube because YouTube don't play as far as slurs and everything like that. They won't let you be monetized, but Kick will as far as a streaming platform. Yeah, they're going to do it on Kick instead because they're going to get away with it. And because Kick is backed by a lot of gambling, it makes sense that this casino, $1 billion, field, is going to back him because he's bringing them revenue. So yeah, they're gonna do that. The $1 million that they spent is nothing compared to the possibly $10 million he's gonna generate for them if he gets out of this. So they're putting in an investment, hoping that he gets out and he can generate some money. Plain and simple.
You white and you racist just because. So how was he able to do this? See, he wasn't able to make bond the traditional way, which is, you get a bill bondsman, you pay the 10%. He couldn't do that because in Montgomery County, like the max is like $100K or like $125,000 per bill bondsman. So he would have needed 10. And apparently, out of the bill bondsman company, they didn't want to touch him. They thought Chud was a nuisance. They thought it was bad PR. They didn't want to touch Chud at all. Nobody wanted to touch this dude. So it took the racist casino, the racist called Duel, which apparently is ran by like a billionaire, like white supremacist, and he put up the $1 million. They paid the $1 million. Chud bond was, I think, 1.25, right? Like 1.25, right? And they reduced it to $1 million. It was first 1.25, and then they reduced it to $1 million. And they paid the $1 million full cash.
Again, so Duel, D-U-E-L is what he said. If that's the case, do not mess with them. If you don't agree, don't mess with them. I don't know who's in charge of them. I don't. But we can find out. That's easy. Go find out who's in charge of Duel. And then guess what? You don't bother with that either. Anything this guy got his name attached to, you put it out there and you don't bother with it.
Here. One wire. Here. But here's the thing. And here's why I don't feel like we should be too upset about this, okay? There's nothing he could really do, okay? This case is going to be tied up for about a year or two. All right, so they can celebrate all they want, but what are they really celebrating? Chud can't be on social media, so he's not gonna drop content. So what? Like he's just what? Like he's gonna be somewhere locked up, cooped up in the house somewhere. Can't really come outside, so he can't drop content. Can't come outside. Chud is gonna be an afterthought in a couple of months,
depending on how this plays out. Because you got to do things to stay relevant. And you got the little other dude, the little Mexican guy who they call himself Mexican Chud the Builder, still out there doing a lot of the same stuff. So they're going to keep his name relevant. You can't guarantee he's going to be gone in a couple months. You really can't. You don't know what he's going to do. He may break bond himself. He may go back on camera because a lot of times these cats, based on the way that they live and they make their money, they can't just sit there and do nothing because they're going to burn out of their money too quickly. Their lifestyle is above what they earn, so they constantly have to do things and make this stuff in order to make sure they can maintain that lifestyle. He's been locked up, right? He's been locked up. He can't make any content. And at this point, because of the judge's order and the bail bonds criteria, he can't go on these socials. He can't go on here and do all of that. There's absolutely no way he's gonna just stay quiet.
right? He's gonna go to court. He's gonna get found guilty. He's gonna go to jail. So what exactly are they celebrating? They are celebrating nothing. Now, I'm sure Duel probably thought that Chud will be able to get out and then come and work for them, but apparently the judge put a stop to that. He can't do that either. He can't go ahead and work for him and get on camera and troll. He can't do that either. So Chud apparently, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do at this? Like what? So the trolling is cool, the no comment, you outside, but what does this do? This does nothing for you guys, right? Now, they're on social media literally celebrating, and the reason why I personally feel like Chud should not have gotten out is because of the ramifications. Chud being in jail sent a message that behavior would not be tolerated, that going around harassing people would not be tolerated. But now that he's free, you're gonna have these copycats like this one Mexican dude who's been going viral lately for trying.
See, there you go. But he's been doing that before Chud got released. He didn't just start this. That thing said, I think he looked up and said it was the 8th. He was doing that well before that. I done a short and a video on this cat. No, he's definitely been already doing that since Chud. He's just getting more notoriety on it recently because of Chud's case. So the copycats is already there. They've always been there. It's just now that the headliner was taken out, now it's their time to shine.
to imitate Chud the best he could, right? And he got whooped on already, right? So he tried to imitate Chud, he got whooped on, but then he moved states and now he's doing it in like other states. But you got severe copycats like this Mexican dude who's imitating Chud. And with Chud being free right now, they now know there's no consequences for their actions. That if they go to jail, there will be people coming at their beck and call, giving them millions of dollars.
No, it won't, because again, they ain't got the level of notoriety that Chud has. They're gonna think that's what they have. That's where we're getting a little twisted. They're gonna think they have that, and they don't. They do not. Chud, because of his name and everything that he's built as far as streaming on Kick, has that at his back. The rest of these guys do not. They can end up in the same situation, and they're not free. Chud is not free. He's out on bond. He still has a court case. He can still go to jail for a while. So he's not free necessarily. He is out on conditions. Do not get it twisted. He is not free whatsoever. These other guys will end up in the same position because they will see that same trend. They're walking around doing the exact same thing. They end up in the same situation, if not somehow worse. And if they also end up in jail, they not gonna have a $1 billion company backing them up with $1 million because it ain't nothing in them to drop it. They're not gonna have that because they don't have that notoriety.
To have them released.
The nigga.
Yeah, that's him.
Like I hate what nigga. Yo, what the fuck? Shut your ass up. That Wait, they're saying I pressed you, didn't do shit. Hang him, his nigga. Damn, bro. Or what? Pussy. Oh, you trying to fight? I'm not trying to fight, but wait, no, you don't.
See, he talk a lot of trash when there's doing there, and in the instant somebody gets a little aggressive with him, he start walking away. He takes off running. He's a coward through and through. He's gonna talk trash because he's expecting you to be like a regular human and not chase him or try to beat the tar at him. But as soon as he meets somebody who don't care, he's a victim. And again, that's the game he's gonna play. He's always gonna play that game. The best thing to do is ignore him, let him go about his way. And then once that, I did a whole video on this cat, and he has tried YouTube multiple times, multiple avenues, and failed at all of them. And that's mainly because he kept trying too many things at once instead of sticking with one thing and seeing it through. So now he's gotten to this.
My glasses. Shut up, bro. You're a nigga. Shut up. Shut up. Yo, can I get my glasses back? Can I get my glasses back? I don't care about what you're doing, bro. I don't care. I don't.
Yep, now you got to skedaddle.
Bro, alright, bro. Chill. Chill, bro. Chill.
I don't know if that was Flacco that added that in there, but that was funny.
Chill, bro. Play me again, you on that fame, man? You a I'm not on the internet, my mama. I'm not on the internet. I don't play the internet, my mama. It's over. I don't crib, It's over. It's over. It's over.
See what I mean? He antagonized the dude. He got hit. Now all of a sudden is, why you hit me for no reason, bro? They're perpetual victims. And with Chud being released, the method has not been patched. The method has not been patched.
It wouldn't be patched one way or the other because they still going to do it. Again, Chud was in there. They were doing it. Him being released is not going to make a difference. They're still going to do it because all they're trying to do is get notoriety and fame and get paid like Chud did. They're going to do it one way or the other. Thinking you're going to take down, it's a hydra, right? You don't kill a hydra by cutting off one of the heads because two more grow within that same place. Same thing with weeds. People that act like this are weeds You know what you got to do as far as your lawn, if it's infected with weeds, clear it. You got to clear it. You got to clear it out and start over as far as regrowing some of this stuff. And now some people going to take this to a racial thing. I'm not saying racial wise. I'm saying you going to have to sit up there and ignore these clowns and wipe them out the algorithm, because as long as, and unfortunately that also means, you know, making content like this on it, but you got to clear the algorithm as far as their name and everything that they're doing, ignore them, and eventually they'll go away. They're going to find something else to do because they're not getting paid. They're not getting notoriety from it. These companies are going to move on to somebody else. I say give it a year and likely most of this is going to be gone.
You could do this, say these things, get away with it, harass people. You damn near try to murder one of them, go to jail, and you going to have $1 million in your fundraiser.
But again, so did Carmelo. Carmelo had the same thing. He killed a guy. He was in a place he wasn't supposed to be. He killed a guy. And they raised enough money to where that his parents bought a new house. He was out on bond, and his parents bought them a new house. So, again, you can't do one and not the other.
The method ain't been patched. It just hasn't. So right now, what we're looking forward to is, I'm going to try to push the button on who sent out that tweet. Because whoever sent out that tweet, if it was Chud, you done violated the bond conditions already, bro. You got to go back to jail. But that particular Mexican dude, well, right? So after he got his straightening, right? After he got for disrespecting black folks, you know what he did? All he did, bro, well, he just switched cities. He left Texas, went to LA to do the exact same thing there, and he's doing it right now.
I had to hide, guys, cause I'm scared. Cause I don't wanna get beat up. Didn't get beat by a black man. I mean, you know, you take some L's. You gotta differentiate yourself, bro. That's just how my story went, you know. But I had to hide now. Look at me.
That right there is the work of Chud the Builder. Now, I don't know how long Chud's support is going to last for, because these people are clout chasers. Trust me.
It's not a work of Chud specifically. Chud was probably a one of the avenues, but I would not say it was the work of Chud. Personally, I think a lot of these First Amendment auditors, it started there. It started with them because a lot of them, they were not racially discriminating anybody. They were just harassing everybody in general. And people saw that they could get paid for it. So it's like, okay, so how do I go viral? Right? Add racism to it. Be racist, be openly racist. That's how a lot of this happened. Chud is a byproduct. This Mexican kid, byproduct. These First Amendment auditors, especially the ones who go outside, they're outside like a grocery store. Somebody go to Target, Walmart, Publix, wherever you are, whatever you got, Piggly Wiggly, wherever you at, they stand outside and they'll aim the cameras at these people walking by and track them and turn the camera and follow them, because while yes, it is a First Amendment, but they also antagonize you. They want you to react. It's been the same methodology for a while at this point. If you look at all these First Amendment auditors who actually run around causing problems, it's the same methodology that these guys are doing. They just live stream it. Instead of recording like they do and put on YouTube, these guys live stream it. You add some racism to it, they go viral, and now they getting paid by Kick.
Right. Like that company, Duel, they only gave that money for the clout. It's simple as that. These people are clout chasers. So I don't know how long his support is going to last for, right? I think at some point, to be honest, right, when Chud the Builder becomes an afterthought, when he's no longer a trending story, a lot of these people, I think, are going to drift away from him because he can't really say nothing, right? And if this trial extends, let's say this, right, he don't go to trial for another year or two. A year or two of being quiet, saying nothing out the limelight, bro, nobody going to care about you. So the only hope we really have is A, he goes to jail in like a year or two. And then B, these cloud chasers that are only around him right now because he's a hot story, man, they'll be away from him in a couple months, man. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think?
Same here. Question, comments, concerns as usual. Let me know. I'm almost at 50 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. especially with the new YouTube changes coming as far as doubling the watch time. So we're gonna see if I can get to that point before the changes happen, because after that I'm pretty much start from square one all over again. But it is what it is. All in all, I like making these videos. I like sitting here doing this, making this content when I got the time to do it. But as usual, I'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.